Have you ever felt like you're constantly pouring your heart out for others, only to find yourself exhausted and drained on the inside? You're not alone. In fact, many of us have been conditioned to put everyone else's needs before our own, often sacrificing our emotional well-being in the process. You might think you're doing okay, that everything's fine, but emotional neglect can be a sneaky thing. It's not always about physical abuse or neglect. Often it's the subtle, everyday moments that chip away at our emotional foundation. Maybe your parents were too busy to show affection when you needed it most, or maybe they had high expectations for you to excel academically without offering any genuine support. You might still be healing from childhood trauma if you find yourself consistently attracted to toxic relationships. You know the ones, people who drain your energy, make you doubt yourself, or even manipulate you into doing things that don't align with your values. It's like being drawn to a flame that burns too hot, but somehow feels familiar. You know that feeling when you're around someone who makes you feel small, like your thoughts and feelings don't matter? It's a suffocating sensation, isn't it? That's what toxic relationships can do to our emotional resilience. They erode our sense of self-worth, making us doubt our own emotions and intuition. Think about it. How often have you found yourself compromising on things that were important to you just to avoid conflict or keep the peace in a relationship? Maybe it was with a partner, family member, or friend. The fear of rejection or abandonment can be overwhelming, but it's not worth sacrificing your emotional well-being. Toxic relationships are like quicksand. They may look comfortable at first, but before you know it, you're stuck and struggling to breathe. They can make us feel like we're walking on eggshells, never knowing when the other person will lash out or become distant. It's time to reevaluate these relationships and ask yourself, am I being drained rather than nourished? Am I compromising too much? As we navigate the complexities of our lives, it's easy to get caught up in a cycle of overthinking. We replay conversations, rehash decisions, and ruminate on past hurts. Our minds become a whirlwind of what-ifs and maybes, leaving us feeling drained and exhausted. Think about it. You're lying awake at 2 a.m., analyzing every word your partner said that day, wondering if they were truly listening to you or just humoring you. Or perhaps you're stuck on a single conversation with a friend, replaying the tone of their voice, second-guessing what you said instead, and what you should have said instead. These patterns of overthinking can be a major source of emotional exhaustion. Our minds are wired to seek patterns and meaning, but when we get stuck in this cycle, it's like being trapped in a never-ending loop of self-doubt and anxiety. We start to lose touch with our intuition, our creativity, and our sense of calm. But here's the thing, you have the power to break free from these patterns. As we learn to tame our minds, we'll discover a sense of peace and clarity that will amaze us. Breaking free from people-pleasing is not always easy. In fact, it can be one of the most challenging habits to break. But here's why it's essential. When we constantly prioritize others' needs over our own, we slowly erode our sense of self. We begin to lose touch with what makes us happy, what we want, and who we are. Think about a time when you said yes to something that drained your energy, but you felt pressured not to say no. Perhaps it was a social event, a work commitment, or even a request from a loved one. You might have rationalized it as being kind or considerate, but deep down, you felt resentful and frustrated. That's because people-pleasing is often a coping mechanism for deeper emotional pain, like feelings of inadequacy, low self-esteem, or a fear of rejection. But here's the thing. When we constantly try to meet others' expectations, we're not living our own truth. We're living someone else's script. It's time to stop sacrificing your own needs for others' expectations and start discovering what truly makes you come alive. Now that we've explored the challenges, let's focus on the solutions. Simple yet powerful ways to strengthen our emotional resilience. Imagine you're standing at a crossroads, with one path leading back to the same old patterns of people-pleasing and self-sabotage, and another path opening up to new possibilities of self-awareness and growth. As we wrap up this journey, I want you to remember that building emotional resilience is a daily choice. It's not about achieving some mythical state of perfection, but about cultivating the courage and compassion to face your vulnerabilities head-on. By acknowledging and addressing these areas of weakness, you'll take the first step towards a more wholehearted life. And as you continue on this path, I encourage you to be patient with yourself, kind to others, and above all, true to your own unique story. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of emotional resilience.